Hello, everyone. I'm Renal Zero. We are back again talking about some nonsense that's going on over on Twitter. Of course, we got some drama going on between Matt Barr and Mint Salad. We also have, again, Shane Davis misrepresenting what Eric July has said. We also have some other things going on, like a thing called Indie Comics or buying Indie Comics, calling Eric July a bunch of things, and again, another person misrepresenting who he is. And we're going to talk about all of that here today. Of course, starting off with Yaira number one, doing very well with 8,900 purchasers, sitting at $1.257 million, 419% past the sales goal. Of course, they've made their money back. Definitely over 15K books sold. So let's keep it going, people. Blade Devil 2 Chains of Blood, 152K with 1,649 backers. I'm looking forward to this book. If you're into that more anime and manga style type of artwork, you will definitely love this book. Blade Devil 1 is, of course, available as an add on, or you can get it separately for $10 over at this campaign right here. Also, before we get into everything, I did have an awesome conversation over on Ryan Roger Athey's channel, so go check it out, Reality Based Extreme 46. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. So, first things first, we're going to start here. So this is something I discovered. I didn't really watch this live stream, but it's interesting how there's a bunch of course, trolls in the chat. You got a bunch of people sending troll, super chats and things of that nature and thinking they can just buy John's Longbox because they give him money. It's really crappy that people want to sit up here and do this nonsense. You even got people saying, small channel getting more super chats that he's probably ever got, but won't read them. So he doesn't have to read troll super chats. You guys aren't there for the right reasons. You're there to try to buy him off or start drama in the stream that has nothing to do with drama. John's Longbox specifically says that he does his streams with no drama, but y'all want to start stuff with him because you have a problem with Eric July. This is very weird that y'all do this. You'll go to literally any stream that Eric July is a part of, and you try to start some nonsense and drama to try to farm content for your crappy channels, because that's what, of course, Mint Salad and people like Tony like to do. They like to stir up drama in other people's channels that have nothing to do with any kind of drama. Just wanting to have a normal conversation with somebody seems to be terrible according to them. So you can see, of course, it says ASE presents, super chat at $20. It says great interview here, John. We'll be talking about and promoting it on my comic book show for Canon's sake tomorrow with my co-host Young Clipper. Thank you, Mint Salad. This was, of course, streamed a month ago, and people were talking about it over on Twitter because there was an interesting conversation again going on between Matt Barr and Mint Salad. So we also had, of course, ASC Presents doing 10 memberships. You had Geek Getaway still bringing up his little DMCA in here.
I'm going to monetize your haters. For Canon's sake tomorrow, my co-host, Young Clipper, thank you. Mint Salad.
It's a troll. It's a troll.
Oh, that's a troll?
Yeah.
I don't know. I stay out of it.
At least you got $20.
So here it is. It says, can you ask Eric why his employee Andrew DMCA'd my tweet 3 times, only to back up all 3 times when I filed a counterclaim? It was 3 times on one tweet. It wasn't a false DMCA. That's what you're claiming that it is, and you think because you're giving this person $5 that they're supposed to read your chat because you're being a troll. You are a known troll in this space. You're a grifter. I've said it plenty of times that you're a grifter. You're grifting off of CG with your stupid looking book, which, by the way, was the Fabulous Frogman, which was a name that a Marvel character had, and of course, very, very similar powers. And it's interesting how your character has a long tongue. Oh, similar to another character in comics called Cybercuck. Interesting how that works. But you guys think you can sit up here and troll people just having a normal conversation, where you also say tons of manga selling worse than Marvel and DC. You both are cherry picking the top ones. Okay. And normal comic book industry is using, of course, manga to try to justify that the comics are booming, even though they're not. They're putting in the manga sales and fluffing what's actually going on, of course. But this was y'all a month ago trying to troll someone who's just simply trying to have a conversation with someone you dislike. Big ups for reading all super chats, John. Takes a real man to do that. Meanwhile, you were just saying that, oh, he's not reading the super chats, right? Were you not just saying that? I just read you saying that in the chat. It's very interesting how that works, that you guys are doing that. You also have another one. By the way, I cosplayed Yaira on PKA, one of the biggest podcasts around, I doubt it, to help spread the Yaira winter vibes. And I cosplay as Yaira all the time on at Yaira Cosplay everywhere. Is it almost ready, Eric? You're not a fan of Rippaverse. You are a grifter as well, Mint Salad. You literally are doing water sport corn with your Yaira cosplay. By the way, that terrible Yaira picture that was put out with you in a yoga position, that was terribly photoshopped. It looked absolutely terrible. You guys are clowns, seriously. You guys really think you could go around just trolling anybody you feel like? Eric is my mommy confirmed. Yeah, bro, it's like you're constantly trolling. But if you want to keep sending John's Longbox money, go right ahead. He'll gladly take your money just as I would. I would absolutely take your troll money. And you continue to give money. I made like 80K after my Don't Watch Star Wars viral video got 20 million views. Your video did not get 20 million views. Please stop lying. You did not get 20 million views on that video. I'm sorry. You did not make no 80K either. You're just a troll. Your whole little posse of CG slums with you guys specifically are just trolls. Can we stop the garbage? So this is you having a conversation with John Longbox where this individual is accusing Matt Barr of being a grapist, saying, not cool, saying Matt Barr is a jerk and liar, and now you have lost my support for a lifetime and gained a new place in Young Clippa's show segments. Every one of your videos that can be made fun of will now be EVAP'd by the fake for canon's sake. I supported you as a small creator and you chose drama like this. You were trolling his stream. I just showed it on the screen here. You were trolling his stream. Okay, but it's not cool to call someone this without proof. See you in April on every episode of Fake for Canon's Sake. Lol, maybe you will be able to turn the attention into sales, but if Matt can't, I doubt you'll be able to either. You can go after me, it doesn't matter. I just think it's wrong to call someone this, especially over something as silly as a comic book art fight. If saying this is wrong means you have to go after me, then I don't know what to tell you. You are not the good guy here. You're not. You're absolutely not. Lol, you are not the good guy here. He called Katie did, hashtag Katie did F's dogs. What again? You are a hypocrite and liar. I'm now 100% certain that Matt Barr is a grapist. Why else would he act like this for 3 weeks straight and attack everyone he can because the guy he knew was outed for questionable things? Go to the police and file a report if you know something. Geez, Mint, this is not right. Accusing someone of this over a comic book art fight. He has said worse about Katie did and I in his live streams and other people's shows on purpose knowing he's lying. Then this random Twitter user for all intents and purposes saying about him, you can't be serious right now about who's slandering who, you silly head. Okay, I'm not getting into this. It's not cool to accuse people of grape. You are an adult. You know that. If you need to attack me over stating a simple fact, that's on you. I think everyone should go subscribe to John's Longbox. He seems to be a good dude. He just wants to have conversations about comic books, and really all it seems that he wants to be. But this individual wants to go around accusing people of nonsense as usual. You are way behind getting into this. Good luck with your channel, John. Every video is potential content for Fake for Canon's Sake now, and you won't even be getting super chats for it. Go buy another 6 copies of Yaira, says to MSK. By the way, shout out to MSK. I don't think Eric needs it. He's doing fine selling over 15,000 copies of Yaira. I don't think he needs help with anything, honestly. But, of course, Matt Barr did retaliate and say, find Jesus, find new friends, find a man that won't do water sports on you or do that for money. Seek help. I never lied. Your pimp/boyfriend did offer this weird thing. Now you're going after a guy because he asked for proof of a grape accusation. Vile, you already super chatted John during his Air July interview, which I did show, attempting to derail it so you can EFAP it for your own channel. Now you're actually going to start attacking him. This is not what Comicsgate is all about. Seems to be what Comicsgate has been about recently. It's very interesting that this Buy Indie Comics Day person says, when you promote yourself and your brand is anti-woke, that's not really being subtle, is it? Eric July never promoted his brand as anti-woke. He, more like I would say, promoted his brand as having fun in comics again, rather than you being beat over the head with someone's politics. And this person says, nope, because you're crying about it, I'm buying 2 of Eric July's comics now. And that's absolutely hilarious. You also have Jimmy Two Pants saying, gatekeep them, but also if I screw up and hire feminist women because I'm thinking with my junk. Hey, don't assume anything. That's very insulting, by the way, to this man's wife. Eric saying, when our comic company launches, remember that my job is to create. I'm not there to hold your hand. Ultimately, the Rippaverse fandom is yours, but I do have one request. Gatekeep the mother F out of it, and when you spot posers and liars acting bad faith, get them out. And this was also in response to him saying, when I started the Rippaverse, many wrongfully assumed that it was created to be a political statement. Comics just with my personal politics beating you over the head. Oddly enough, some may feel some kind of way because we didn't do the latter. Politics and social views outside of universal truths are left at the door when it comes to employment. People can be themselves as long as it's not criminal or gets in the way of business. Our number one goal is to entertain our customers and provide a fun fandom, which he has. He's provided a fun fandom, and people are just all about trying to cut him down at the ankles, of course, to which he responds by saying this: despite your disrespect to both my integrity and marriage, I'll take the high road and address the crux. This post is in reference to the fandom and specifically addressing posers, liars, and bad faith actors. I'm not sure how you could lose this context and take the angle of supposed hypocrisy that doesn't exist. It doesn't. I'll even provide a picture, which is a thumbnail that one of my many videos where I discuss this. Gatekeeping in this context does not mean do not allow anybody with different opinions to work for you. I've been singing the praises of the Saskers for going on 6 years now, back when he reviewed comics and reviewed Black Widow No Restraints Play on his channel, by the way. Since I've known them, they've done nothing but show love to me and my fans. Since the Rippaverse launched, they've treated its fans and its employees with love and respect. If you want to pretend to be a prude due to 20-year-old horror films and edgy tweets, you're free to be selective in what you see. Despite people trying to ruin their reputation just because they work with me, exactly because they never cared about any of this back when they worked for Marvel, they've handled it with class. But when given a prominent character at the peak of the MCU, they didn't do a series of hyper-feminist trans social justice. No, they had Black Widow hunting down a bunch of bad people. If you want to ignore that, their growth or our streams where they even crack jokes on SJWs, that's your business, but don't expect everybody else to do the same. The Saskas have only elevated this company, a company where everybody, including myself, does not allow politics or social BS to get in the way of entertainment. God bless. So yeah, just setting the record straight. It's interesting how people like to lie constantly. But this was the official Twitter account for Buy Indie Comics Day. Has a super duper important PSA to tell you. Public service announcement. We don't support Eric July in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't expect you guys to because he doesn't know who you are. Not now or never. He's a bigot who makes content and crappy comic books for like-minded individuals. He makes comic books for people that want to read them. And the people that are in the fandom want to read them. And we want no part of that toxicity. Keep that Rippaverse trash to yourself. We don't need you in the Rippaverse fandom. Bye. Nobody cares over here, bro. Nobody even knows who y'all are. Y'all just came out of nowhere and started posting nonsense. Of course, again, like I said, this person buying too. But we also had Shane Davis, of course, saying, here you go. There are videos also, where Eric July is saying, launch with the product complete. We go the extra mile of having prints done prior to launch or pre-order, but that's not a requirement for a reasonable turnaround. Customers are parting ways with their money, and that should be taken seriously, not for granted. A lot of the delays and lack of fulfillment are due to creators being undisciplined. Some are selling you a proof of concept and not an actualized product, and because they already have your money, if they don't have the drive or respect for their customers, they have little incentive to hustle to get it complete and delivered. I've said the exact same thing about this last part. People, like I've said, Ethan Van Sciver is a washed-up comic pro because he seems to have little incentive to be on his craft and get his stuff out. But of course, even people are calling you out for your dumb response. Argonauts on Indiegogo here, AshWriting97, says, as a newbie crowdfunder myself, what Eric July is saying here is true. There are creators I've backed in the past who took 2+ years to produce a 48-page graphic novel, despite them claiming about 16 months in that the line art was complete and having pages complete at time of launch. But assuming you have 48 pages to do and it takes you 16 months to get the art and inks done, you're averaging less than a page per week / 3 per month. If someone is just a writer, then I don't mind side projects to fill time, but for people who write and draw the book themselves, starting a new project before the first one is finished is pretty wild, let alone 3+ projects running simultaneously, especially if that first project raised over 6 figures. While I respect that art takes a long time, creators prolonging the process by adding side projects is bound to push people away. I get that. For the big creators, their income is a balance between streaming and drawing, but the optics of streaming for 25 to 30 hours a week when you got an overdue book will naturally annoy backers. Obviously, we know who he's talking about. Outside comic veterans, a lot of other people seem to be jumping on comics because they see people make 6 figures and see it as an easy gig. I don't mind as much for creators who have existing books and have a track record of delivering, but there's obviously a subgroup within crowdfunding who just see it as an easy payday. People like Tony. I've started mine and I've committed to not starting anything new until this one is fully drawn. Eric making a pretty reasonable criticism doesn't mean he's talking about all crowdfunders, and I think a lot of creators, myself included, would absolutely launch with the book done if we could afford it. Crowdfunding should be a tool to help your business when you can't just start out with a book. Crowdfunding is great for indie creators because you know your demand, so it's brilliant for estimating a print run, but I do agree that you should have as much completed ahead of time as reasonably possible. My own plan is to have this be self-funding for me, so I don't necessarily need a huge paycheck, but I also don't need to invest thousands at a time. I can use the success of each campaign to help the next. Time will tell. I do agree quality should win out over punctuality, but being late by a year is a little excessive. When people think of quality over punctuality, they mean art is reviewed and double-checked, changes are made when necessary. They don't think a year will be added to the process. I have backed and will continue backing crowdfunded books as well as using it for my own projects, but I do wish there was more creative discipline. When Hollywood delays a movie by a year, people tend to be furious. I'm not saying every delayed comic is something shady, but the whole optics of a comic being a year late from a creator who's juggling 2 or 3 projects and spending a long time live streaming will tick people off, even if the book is amazing, which it seems like a lot of people don't think is amazing, that they're waiting for books, or they don't think the book is amazing within itself. But with that being said, of course, Shane Davis did leave out the context. It was an answer to a question by a person who supports the Rippaverse, who says this: launch a campaign and get the books a month after. That alone is putting so many indie creators on notice. What's the secret? Where he says, launch with the product complete. We go the extra mile having prints done prior to launch. A pre-order, but that's not a requirement for a reasonable turnaround. And he responds by saying, using the tweet to suggest I was attacking crowdfunding is silly on its own, but I don't understand why the context was removed, as I was answering a question about how we operate. Nonetheless, it's such a mild statement that applies to everyone from small creators to big companies, and he even puts a link to a YouTube video. He also says, when Eric corrects a falsehood, Eric can't take criticism. When Eric says some people lack discipline or display irresponsibility, clutch pearls. It's absolutely insane, the nonsense people go through. We also had Doug Ernst, who's part of the Iconic Comics brand, creator of the Soul Finder series, saying, any creator who gets bent out of shape that you get books out when you say you'll get them out, i.e. you're a man of your word on the fulfillment front, has his priorities screwed up. If he's trying to intimidate you into silence when it comes to fulfillment, he's just wrong. And that's crazy how he completely, of course, sides with Eric because he knows Eric is correct. At the end of the day, though, he was not attacking crowdfunding. He's never attacked crowdfunding. It's interesting that that narrative all started because Ethan Van Sciver decided to be a thumbnail reactor and react to a thumbnail that Eric put out that said crowdfunding. Rather than watching the video where he doesn't attack crowdfunding, the idiot decided to react to a thumbnail and make a big fuss about it and decided to, of course, throw a bunch of homoerotic things at me, of course, for defending it, which I, of course, ratioed him as I always do because it's easy to ratio people that other people don't like when you have more support than the person that you're talking to. I, of course, have EVS blocked now because he was in support of a doxing of my family members' faces and in support of me, myself, getting doxed because he finally showed his true colors and finally showed that he is an absolute piece of garbage. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button and comment below what you feel about all of this. Subscribe for more content and hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or live stream, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.